Hey, in this video we'll talk about the role consonants play in stuttering, stammering, how they become the hard sounds, and I'll give you some practical exercises how to tackle those hard sounds. I'll show you how you can deal with them and how you can make sure they actually become easy. Are you ready? Let's go deeper into that. Stay tuned. Before we get to the exercises, I want you to explore the consonants a little bit. So just try to notice what happens to your mouth, to your lips, teeth, tongue, jaws, where they are and how it feels when you pronounce the consonant sounds. So let's try. And you can pick any consonants that come to your mind, like S. Notice how the teeth come together, how the tongue gets to your teeth, or t, the same way, how the lips come together, how you close your mouth, for example, p, d, t. I want you to notice how much airflow is there. Probably not much. It's very intensive. P, n, p, r, k, l, d, t. It's very intensive, but it's not quite the airflow that we get on the vowel sounds. It might feel like a certain obstacle, like a certain barrier, like a certain stoppage. In the first exercise, we're going to play with the word cat. So I want you to say cat separately, 3 sounds. K, a, t. Feel the difference. K, a, t. The consonants create a certain container, a certain box. They're like the edges of the vowel sounds, in this case of the vowel sound a. The consonants bear most of the information that we're delivering, information of the word, of the phrase. If you take away a, the vowel, it becomes k, t, k, t, k, t, which is way closer to cat than if we take away the consonants and just say the vowel sound a, it doesn't say anything, just 0 about cat. So the consonants bear most of the information, but you can notice that cat, k and t, they form the edges of the word. But again, that's the container, but the substance, the inside, what we really hear is a, cat. The vowels take much more space. I want you to put your mouth in the k position. So we want still our mouth, our jaw, our teeth, our tongue, everything to be pretty relaxed. K. But I want you to find where is the k position. K. And then you're saying at. You're not saying cat. Visualize, not C-A-T, but A-T, at, from the k position. Let's give it a try. And I want you to use some gesture like this, like you're opening your mouth, getting to a, from this k position. Let's try. At, cat, cat, cat. What I do with my students, we're just playing. I'm saying at and cat. I mean to say at, and then I mean to say cat. And you're trying to guess. So let's do it. At, cat, 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 cat. And you might be amazed how little difference you actually hear when you say cat from k. You're saying at, or you're really saying cat. meaning to say cat. Cat, 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 cat. There is no difference pretty much. It becomes something in between cat and at, and this exercise gives you the indication, clear like feeling of how little space consonants take, should take, how little space we actually want to give them. In this exercise, I want you to get stuck on k. K, 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 k. Feel the tension. K, k, k. And then you're getting to a from this tension. Cat. And I want you to observe what happens to the airflow and to your body, how it feels. On k, 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 no airflow, and body gets tense, right? K, k, cat. Get tense and cat. Feel how our body drops and we relax as we're getting to a. It's like a dam that holds the water back, raises its level, and then when you open it, you feel the power of the water flow. I call this exercise the balloon exercise because it feels like we're pumping up the balloon and then just deflate that balloon. We want to feel the airflow and feel how our body drops, and that's the moment we relax. Only the vowel sounds in this exercise, we can feel it, give us this relaxation. We can relax only on the vowel sounds. On k, k, on consonants, there's no way to relax. It's not relaxing. We can only gather tension staying on the consonants. K, 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 k. We only gather tension this way. And the level of this tension can be different. In repetition, k, 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 k. This is like the least of tension. In involuntary prolongation, ka, ka, a little more tension. And in the block, it's the highest level of tension where our body simply refuses to play this game. So in this exercise, you want to clearly feel the tension and start explore. You want to start exploring tension. We don't want to be afraid of it. Tension, right? You start with tension. And feel how you transform that tension into relaxation, getting to the vowel sound. You want to start feeling how you can relax on the vowel sounds. Now, from the word cat, let's get to a tiny little phrase, guitar strings. So here we can get stuck and we can feel the difficulty on g, g, g. That's already the consonant here. And also strings, guitar, s, t, r, like 3 consonants together. So let's play with this tiny little phrase. I want you to start the same way with tension, with the balloon exercise. Guitar strings. Then feel the airflow. Use that airflow and go with the connection, meaning that we're connecting the vowel sounds. Let's see how it happens. So, guitar strings. I want you to visualize, to see that in this case, guitar goes to strings. It becomes strings. Tar strings. Strings. Literally say strings. Strings. See how this connection works? Where we go from tar, from the vowel sound, tar, string, in, to another vowel sound, tar, strings. guitar strings. Guitar strings. And when we get to connections and feeling how we go from the vowel sound to vowel sound, it sounds a little bit like singing, but I want you to see that singing is not quite a mere prolongation. It's not guitar strings. It's not robotic, it's not monotonous. Singing is simply beautiful. It brings all the inflections. So guitar strings, it sounds awesome and amazing. Now we're going to play with the same phrase, guitar strings, using the hand stuttering technique. And that's the technique that I used myself back in the day in my own speech therapy as a person who stutters. And that's what I teach, what I use with my students these days. And the idea of the hand technique is pretty simple. We want to align this getting to the vowel sound as we played in the previous exercises. Feel how you land to the vowel sound, and then feel the vowel sounds and connections in the phrase using the hand. The hand gives us a very powerful signal or feedback, alternative source of feedback. We're not thinking, where is the vowel sound? Where is the consonant? How do I get through it? So we remove all thinking. It becomes very automated, because speaking is very automated. So you just press with your fingers and you feel that alignment. You get to the vowel sound, it's relaxing, and when it's relaxing, it can be expressive, it can be powerful, it can be anything that you want. So the first thing you want to do is you want to feel the alignment as you're starting with one finger, one syllable. So let's take for sounds, vowel sounds, a, o, e, u. And you're landing to those sounds, feeling the alignment, feeling how you relax, how your body drops. Let's play. A, o, e, u. A, o, e, u. Take your time, please don't try to speed up. This is the fundamental thing. To get to that feeling of that alignment as you're pressing, you're producing the sound. The next thing, let's say guitar strings this one. Feeling how we land and get to the vowel sound. Guitar strings. 3 fingers. You're landing like an airplane, moving a little forward. The next thing, let's start with a bit of tension, like in the balloon exercise. So we get tense. I want you to feel how you're launching this relaxation, and you go from this tension to relaxation with your thumb. This is a trigger for your relaxation. Let's do it a couple times. Guitar strings. And finally, you want to play a little bit starting from the neutral position, from here, not keeping your hands on the thigh. Try to feel how you can start the first sound and get to that first vowel sound at any time. You're pressing and producing, sending the sound, projecting the sound. Again, feeling that alignment, feeling how it's effortless, it's powerful, and it's becoming a bit expressive as you're engaging the other hand, your body, and eye contact. So let's start from here. Guitar strings. And you come back to this position. So you start from here and you come back here. Guitar strings. And please take notice how you clearly pronounce the consonants, but they get out of the way. They get out of this equation. All you feel is the alignment with the vowel sounds. Now let's get from the word short phrase to a longer phrase. We're going to play with, hi, I'm looking for guitar strings for Fender Jaguar. And first, I want you to find the stresses, to feel how you land to those stresses. Again, we're finding that alignment with the vowel sounds. And I want you to feel how relaxing, how powerful, and how expressive it can be as well. So let's find 6 stresses in this phrase. And I want you to engage your body, to feel, literally feel how you get through that phrase to those points of that alignment. So let's do it. Hi, I'm looking for guitar strings for Fender Jaguar. You can use this gesture, you can use any other gesture to cut through and get there. Hi, I'm looking for guitar strings for Fender Jaguar. Now let's split this phrase into 3 and also feel the stresses. It's going to be hi, just one, hi, but I still want you to feel how you're landing there. It's not hi, hi, it's hi, boom, feel that alignment. In the next phrase, let's feel 5 stresses. I'm looking for guitar strings. And in the third piece, let's feel 3 stresses. For Fender Jaguar. I also want you to play with this phrase, I'm looking for guitar strings, feeling only 4 and 3 stresses. We don't have to be very rhythmical, like I'm looking for guitar strings. Let's play with 4 stresses. I'm looking for guitar strings. Wow, bum 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 bum. So it gives us flexibility, it gives us natural music, if you would, in your phrase. I'm looking for guitar strings. Let's play with 3 stresses. I'm looking for guitar strings. So from the beginning, we go right to the end. It increases the pace. We increase the pace this way, but we still feel that alignment. We started feeling the alignment, we finished making a point, feeling that alignment. And I want you to notice that I'm looking, and for Fender, both are very tricky because the first syllable, the first word in this case, is not stressed. We say, I'm looking, I'm looking. And that's the situation that I usually describe as the train that is arriving to the station, to the train station, and people are waiting and not all doors open. So people rush to the open doors, creating a jam. Here is the same thing. We want to bypass through this get to looking. I'm looking, right? So, and it creates additional tension. It creates additional insecurity. It creates ground for more speech impediments. So we still want to land to the first vowel sound. To feel the first vowel sound, to feel alignment right from the first sound. And yes, it might be a little different from our natural urge to go to them looking, but that's what makes the training speech so powerful. It gives us the alignment and feeling of security. You're landing to the first sound, you know where you are, and this way you're building trust with your brain and your body. Now, let's play with the hand technique. I'll be showing you my hand on the thigh so that you can see clearly how it works. So, we start with these 3 pieces, right? So, hi. And let's start with pretty much 1 finger, 1 syllable. It's not quite speaking, I know, but we want to feel that alignment first. And then we're going to increase the pace. So 1 finger, 1 syllable. I'm looking for guitar Fander, Jaguar. 5 fingers. The next step, you're increasing the pace to 5 and 3 fingers. The first is going to be 1, same. Hi, hi. I'm looking for guitar strings for Fander, Jaguar. Then I want you to play, connecting it all together back into one piece, one airflow, starting with more fingers, using fewer fingers, playing, trying to feel the stresses, and trying to feel that you're getting closer to regular speaking, but at the same time, you want to feel that alignment and see how this alignment, again, gives you enough support. So let's start with more fingers. Hi, I'm looking for guitar strings for... So you get to the pinky finger, then you get to the index finger, and then if you need more, you just go back and forth. I'll do it one more time. Hi, I'm looking for guitar strings for Fander, Jaguar. You can notice that some were a little faster because they were not stressed, some fingers, some it took a little more time. So you want to play with more fingers to develop a bit of that swiftness. That's amazing, that's awesome. But of course, you want to play with fewer fingers as well. Hi, I'm looking for guitar strings for Fander, Jaguar. For example, Jaguar could be Jaguar. So you play, you explore. Hi, I'm looking for guitar strings for Fander, Jaguar. Oops, only 6 fingers. Hi, I'm looking for guitar strings for Fander, Jaguar. You even can go with only 4. It's very fast, very regular pace, but it's still the training speech. So the training speech doesn't have to be that slow, and oftentimes people say, oh, training speech, that means we're speaking slowly. It's not about speaking slowly. It's about feeling that alignment that we feel with 10 fingers, 6 fingers, and even 4 fingers. Regular pace. Hi, I'm looking for guitar strings for Fander, Jaguar. I did 5 fingers. But I feel the alignment. That's the point of the training speech. I want you to notice that you don't get stuck. You don't stutter on the last consonant. It's not cat, it's cat. So why? Why do you think is happening this way? And the answer, I want you to see that, to notice, to feel, you know it perfectly, that it's that moment when you're getting through that first consonant sound or consonants to the first vowel sound. That's the moment either we're easily getting through it and it develops trust, confidence, it's easy, relaxing, beautiful. And that's what regular people have, right? They might have glitches here and there, but no worries. They don't notice that. Or it can develop panic. Our body generates panic at that point when I cannot get through that consonant to that vowel sound. And the more pressure, the more tension I put, the harder it gets. So depending on how we get through that first barrier, obstacle, that consonant sound, and land to the vowel and feel that in the phrase, in our speaking. Depending on that, we either develop real stuttering because, of course, this panic that I cannot get through it, and I need to get through it. It evolves. It becomes the constant feeling of that tension. We're going from one hard consonant sound to another one, and Actually, any sound can become hard as we're getting tense in this state of tension. The vowels also can become hard. And just the opposite, as I said, if we manage, if we see how, if we feel how we're landing to the first sound, we're feeling that alignment in our speaking, then there's no stuttering. The speech impediments that regular people have, everyone has those from time to time, they're not heavy. They lose that tension and heaviness that real, regular stuttering as we know it has. And the number one question I get from people who stutter is, Andre, everything is cool, you're telling this and it's awesome, I understand everything, but why? Why I don't stutter alone? Why do I stutter way less in certain environments? With my best friend, with my mom, with my pet? And the answer is pretty obvious. Our body, our brain, they know, if you would, pretty well, perfectly, even if you don't acknowledge that. But it knows the insecurity in the speaking structure. And it's a very regular symptom of stuttering, stammering, this anxiety, anticipation, even before we start the interaction. So when this new environment or hard situations happen, we already have the anxiety, we already have anticipation, we already see those hard sounds, those consonants. It's coming. And then, of course, it happens. So it amplifies stuttering big time. So what I'm saying is that all the exercises we've done, you've played with so far, the beginning, how we land to the first sound, how we feel the connection, feel the alignment, we use our hand, it gives the support, security. This training speech, it restores the structure of your speaking, the natural structure, the structure of your natural speaking. And when you feel the structure, this is the most effective way to deal with the hard sounds. As you notice, we eliminate the consonants just out of this equation. All we feel is landing to the vowel sounds. All we feel is the alignment as we're pressing and landing to those vowel sounds. As long as you have the insecure structure, the hard consonants, the hard sounds are inevitable. Anxiety, anticipation are inevitable. And just the opposite, if the structure is secure, if you feel how you land to the sound, if you feel the airflow, if your speaking is relaxing, powerful, and expressive, guess what? The hard consonants disappear. The anxiety, the anticipation also gradually dissolve and disappear. So to remove the hard consonants, you need a secure structure, to feel the secure structure in your speaking. And restoring of that secure structure, of your natural structure, of the structure of your natural speaking actually, is a very step-by-step process. And you might be asking, why? Why it's not happening overnight? Some gurus are promising like 1 to 3 days and that's it. It's not happening this way. And the answer is because your speaking, my speaking is very much automated. And right now it's an automated tension, automated anxiety, fear of speaking interaction, even though maybe again you're not acknowledging that fully, but to some extent that's an automated tension, fear, and avoidance and escaping. So we want to automate new feelings, and for that we need to upload to our muscle and emotional memory new experiences, speaking experiences. So we want to start creating speaking experiences. And I gave you the exercises to get started with these new feelings that you want to upload. Relaxation, power, effortless power, expression. Yet, in most cases, I would say like 95% cases, we don't go any further. We're playing with those exercises, we're doing those practices at home, and that's it. We expect somehow that these practices can change the way we feel in real life interactions, our real life interactions. And the distance, the gap between your home practice and real life interaction is 1,000,000 miles. It's a totally different universe. It's a totally different pace, totally different energy, totally different emotional state. You want to start thinking how you can close this gap between your home practice and real life interactions. By doing your home practice, you're not changing your real life interactions. You want to start seeing what you can do in between. That's how you get to that level, to that stage. So I want to give you a couple more practical exercises how you can do that. First of all, start recording yourself. When you go to the coffee shop, to the grocery store, to the pharmacy, the post office, any regular interactions, bring your phone, hit record, audio or video. Video is always better. So it's that easy. If you're making a phone call, you can record using your laptop, like I'm doing right now, using the camera. And I know we usually don't like hearing our voice, stuttering, insecurities. I get it. But you want to see that this way you're changing your role, you're changing your attitude. It's not trying to say it fluently. You become a scientist. You start running tests. You start observing, exploring what's happening with your speaking, with your pace, with your airflow, with your structure as you're getting to different real life interactions. So what happens psychologically, you're actually bringing classroom, your practice, that's what you're doing at home, what you love doing at home, to real life with you. And of course, you're going to discover a ton. It's huge food for your practice. Then take those phrases and play using the exercises that I gave you. Feeling the alignment, feeling how you get to the first sound, feeling the stresses, using your hand, feeling those new things that you want to feel, how it's relaxing, powerful, and expressive. The next absolutely fundamental thing is to find a safe environment where you can post your practice. It can be Facebook group, it can be WhatsApp group, just anywhere where you feel safe and comfortable to post or go live. Like I run private Facebook group, which is called Free from Stutter. Only the members of the group can see the posts, so everyone can relate, everyone is going to support and encourage you and your practice, your effort. So I'm inviting you to join and encouraging you to join. So you do your practice, you post it, or you go live. Both ways are awesome. What happens at that point? You're turning your practice at home into interaction. That's the most important thing, and you want to be doing that consistently. So the first thing you can do, and ideally it would be great to show your hand and your body like I'm doing right now. So the first thing is just to play with those elements I gave you in our first exercise. Is feeling how you start the first sound, feeling how you split your speaking to pieces, how you engage the other hand, your body, eye contact. Don't go for speaking right away. Take a couple phrases like, hey everyone, I'm doing just a bit of practice, or just a bit of practice. I would maybe advise you first to go with up to 5 fingers and then exploring longer phrases, like over 5, 6, 7, 8. Then after 8, we go to 9, back. But first, split it into pieces. That's the idea. Just a couple phrases and that's it. Bye-bye. It's not about speaking. First, it's about feeling those fundamentals. Feeling how you start, feeling the airflow, continuous airflow, those connections, feeling how you split, how you make a point. That's it. Feeling that structure, that you set the terms. As you're comfortable with this, you can go to the next step, which is introduction and wishing a good day, something like this. So it can go a little further, like, hey everyone, my name is Sandra. You can say something about yourself and then just, I'm wishing you a great day. Bye-bye. Also, it's not about speaking yet. It's about feeling the structure in your short presentation. And the next thing I suggest doing is playing with the phrase that you're going to say in real life. For example, you plan to go to the grocery store and ask, like, excuse me or hi, where is brown rice here? Where is, it's not where is buh, and on buh, it's a hard consonant. Wow, what do I do with this buh? No, we don't want to think about this buh. Where is brown? Is brown. Z goes to brown. That's the connection that we played with. Is brown. Where is brown rice here? So you play with a phrase that you want to say in real life. Then you go to real life and make the recording. If you're going to do it standing in real life, then you want to role play it and practice standing. So you imagine you're approaching that person in the grocery store, in the supermarket, and say, hi, where is brown rice here? In all those practices, whether you're practicing just playing with the fundamentals, or doing some introduction, or playing with the phrase for the real life, and then going to the real life, it's not about saying it fluently. I said it fluently. That's a win. It doesn't matter whether you stuttered or said it fluently. What matters is whether you feel that alignment. Do you feel that structure of your speaking? Are you getting to that first sound effortlessly? Do you feel how the hand takes care of your speaking? So we're looking for those elements that give your brain and body the signal that you set the terms. You decide how you speak in that interaction. And of course, once you have the recording, please share it in the group. Absolutely, that would be very encouraging, inspiring. If it's great, great. If it's not perfect, it's absolutely amazing. Absolutely no words. Again, this is your effort, and that effort is your step towards the goal that you're moving to. Now, the next exercise is one of my favorites. You imagine you're getting on stage, like I did right now. So, you imagine you're getting on stage, you see many people. So, first you want to connect with them, take your time, notice your body, be in your body, be present, get very present to that moment. Connect. And then you start saying a phrase or two, introducing a topic. For example, hey everyone, I want to talk about books. Any topic you pick. And that's it. So you have just 1 or 2 phrases to introduce the topic, and then you start thinking what to say next, and then you say it. So the exercise here, you don't have the script. So you're making a huge step from playing with some phrases to actually producing speaking, translating your thoughts right at the moment they appear into speaking. And if you have something prepared, like I have so many ideas, you wipe them out, you remove them. They're awesome, they're genius ideas, but you're looking for what comes to your mind now. And that, what is coming to your mind, to your head right now, that's what you're saying. Please, this way you're developing trust with your ability to produce some thoughts, and maybe it's a stupid idea. No worries, absolute no worries. This way we're developing, again, trust and getting truly present. We're not anticipating, we're not preparing some ideas. You can generate your ideas right at that moment. Believe me. If it's a seemingly stupid idea, no worries. This is practice. This is not an exam. And this is not quite speaking. You just say 1 or 2 phrases. So about books. Well, quite honestly, I don't read books much. Or actually I read, but my attention span is very short. I take a book and just read a little bit of it. So just a couple phrases I said, maybe stupid, maybe something that but it came to my mind. So you want to extract something that comes to your mind at that moment. So with this exercise, what you're really doing, you're automating all the fundamentals of the training speech because your focus goes to your thinking at that moment. And that's the right way to interact, right? Listening, thinking, saying what you think. Not thinking about the hard sounds, not thinking about consonants, not thinking about any techniques, about anything. So we want to automate our speaking. So please give yourself permission to think and say what comes to your mind. So this way we're automating all the fundamentals. We're automating the training speech. And you start gaining this feeling that you can transform any thoughts that come to your mind into flawless, easy, and effortless, confident speaking. Maybe it's not flawless. Maybe you're making mistakes here and there. Maybe you don't feel the training speech much. This is your practice. This is not an exam. But only this way you're learning, you're growing, because you're either doing it live, ideally, in, for example, Free From Stutter Facebook group, or you're doing the recording and posting. You can see your live, you can see your recording. So you can learn from it, and this is the step, a huge step forward. The next big step is public speaking. So you go live in the Free From Stutter Facebook group, or you can record, make a recording, post it in the group, and you're talking about any topic actually. It's very similar to the blank piece of paper exercise, but here you have some ideas prepared, maybe one idea. It's not about big speaking. It's about, again, several phrases where you feel the alignment. You feel how you land to the first sound, you feel connections. It's about the structure, feeling your training speech, practicing your training speech. And your reaction to my suggestion about public speaking might be, no way, not me. And I can get it, but I want to say that this feeling of performance, this public speaking environment, is the most important exercise for you. And I'll explain why. So, on the one hand, of course, this is an emotional moment, and that's beautiful. We feel a little more like energy, stress, if you would, pressure, if you would, here on the one hand. But on the other hand, and that's what you really want to get to really feel, that nobody is putting any pressure on you at that moment. Here's the mic. The audience is yours. You don't need to win their attention. Like, for example, when you're asking directions, excuse me, first you need to create that interaction. Or if you're talking to somebody and somebody is saying ba-ba-ba-bum, they're already imposing the pace, the style they have. And we feel subconsciously, internally, instinctually, that we need to match that pace. We need to match that style. And we cannot. And it creates additional pressure and tension. Here, nobody's pressing you. Nobody's pushing you besides you. So it's you against you. That's the real battle that we want to win. So you really want to feel that you are the one who decides here. You are the one who sets the terms, how you're going to present yourself, how you're going to speak. So I'm going to repeat that this is the most important exercise for you. You want to get to it. You want to start feeling that you set the terms. And this is your practice. This is not an exam. It's no coincidence that those people who you know that overcame stuttering to some extent, like Ed Sheeran, Emily Blunt, Bruce Willis, James Earl Jones, Rowan Atkinson, and many others, are performers, actors, singers. So they're getting to that feeling that you are on stage, the mic is yours, the stage is yours, the attention is yours. And you decide what you do with that attention, how you present yourself at that point. And you don't need to prepare for years at home before you get to that public speaking environment. For example, in the Free From Stutter program that I run, I do with my students, week 2, we go live in the Free From Stutter Facebook group, and here you go. We're doing this first short presentation introduction, just a couple of phrases, but we want to sense this feeling of public speaking where potentially, even though it's a private group we have, but thousands of people might watch you. So those emotional moments, highly emotional moments, but still, you set the terms. We want to feel that in those emotional moments, we set the terms. That's why the first 8 weeks in the program that I run, Free From Stutter program, every week we're going live, increasing the complexity of that presentation each time. And if you go to the blog post to this video, I'll give you the link in the description to this video. You can go to the blog post and can see, I give you the links to different practices we do with my students to give you some encouragement and so that you could see how it can happen for you. Again, why it is absolutely crucial to do that consistently, create that public speaking environment for yourself consistently. Because at some point, you're going to feel that any interaction, absolutely any interaction, drive-through, conversation, presentation, phone call, any interaction, there is a point in that interaction where the mic is yours, it's your turn, and you're presenting your ideas. In any interaction, it consists of this getting on stage, connecting, and then saying what you think. So once you master this public speaking environment, you see that this public speaking moment, this public speaking environment happens in any interaction that you have in real life. The essential part of that interaction is taking the mic and saying what you think on your terms, feeling that you decide, you set the terms. And I'm sure there is an internal voice inside you which says, oh, what if I stutter? I get on stage and I stutter. And yes, you are going to stutter. You are going to feel, oh no, I cannot handle it. And you fall before you get to the point where you feel, oh, I can handle it. And you stand. I want you to clearly see that freedom from stuttering is not about not stuttering. Freedom from stuttering is about not feeling any fear, not feeling any tension, not feeling any anxiety when and if you stutter. I want you to be very clear that the ultimate measure of your progress, of your success, is being active, becoming more active. And it can be in the form of doing exercises first that I gave you, but then in the form of showing up in the frequent stutter group or in other safe environments. And as you're getting more active, it raises a bigger question, like what is your strategy? Is it to stop stuttering, to reduce stuttering, to find a cure, or some treatment for stuttering? Like give me another magic technique or magic breathing exercise that can work for me. So is your end goal about how to stop stuttering and escape stuttering better? Or is it to be more present in the speaking interaction and to enjoy it? What I wish for every person who stutters, and I truly believe that we all can do that, is to make sure that stuttering is not holding you back in your life. And as you're becoming more active, I think it should be clear for you that there's no way to truly be present in the speaking interaction, to truly enjoy it, to truly be active and positive about speaking interaction if stuttering still feels like something bad and shameful. Because this way we're always staying in this escaping mode. I've done it fluently and I ran away. I've done it fluently and I ran away. We're not letting ourselves truly be present. In this escaping mode, I want to stop, I want to reduce, I want to be more fluent. Well, we're still feeling that speaking interaction is dangerous. There's still danger. We still feel tension when stuttering happens. I want you to start visualizing, feeling and seeing how you can be truly present, not running away after you said something fluently, but truly staying present and feeling that you belong here. And if stuttering happens, it's gonna happen. It happens to, like, speech glitches, speech impediments happen to everyone. If it happens, you wanna feel like, oh, it happened, but no worries. First of all, because it's okay, and second, because I know how to make it happen the way I want. So this new emotional state of confidence involves disclosure and being open about both stuttering and feeling absolutely okay about your efforts to play, to improve, to feel how speaking can be relaxing, powerful, expressive. It's absolutely okay to acknowledge that you want more security and support in your speaking. Both stuttering and your efforts to speak on your terms, both are not to be ashamed of. Both are things that you want to be proud of. You want to be proud of yourself and for yourself. Only this way you can start your personal transformation. The transformation of your relationship with stuttering. So speaking is a skill. Interaction is a skill. How you feel at that moment, how you feel about it. It's also a skill, and you can develop all of that. So as you start taking action, I'm sure you start putting those actions into categories, whether it was a success or a failure. Well, I want you to see that it's always your success, because either you did it the way you wanted, or there is something to learn, and this way to grow and to improve. So the exercise you want to be doing is simply showing up to your next imperfect action. To get started, as I said, I want you to join the Free From Stutter Facebook group. That's your first imperfect action. And make a post. Let it be imperfect. Feel that the very act of posting, doesn't matter how perfect it is, that's your success. Make a short introduction. Leave a comment to someone else's post. Simply show up in the form that feels challenging, yet like the next step, what you're afraid of. Do it. And I want you to even keep some journal or diary, or we do it with my students as a habit building file where we put a tick. Every time you were afraid to do it, you were scared, I'm not sure, but you showed up and you did it. Congratulate yourself on taking the imperfect action. The more imperfect it is, the more the achievement actually, the more you want to support and encourage yourself. The more I want you to be proud of yourself. You don't die, but this is the only way you learn and you grow. You see, with my students, we don't calculate stuttering. Oh, I stuttered 3 times, or I stuttered more today or yesterday. It doesn't matter. We want to generate the new feeling, the new feedback our body generates. When stuttering happens, it's not the end of the world. It's something to observe and to learn from. And if you know how you would like to say it, feeling the alignment, feeling how you relax, how you get to the first vowel sound through the consonants, how you connect the phrase, how you make the point. If you know how to say it, just do it one more time and say it the way you want. And this creates a switch in your brain from, oh, it happened and I cannot handle it, to, oh, it happened, no worries, because I know how to handle it. This makes a switch from tension and anxiety to excitement and joy. You see, you don't wake up one day and you don't stutter anymore. But you wake up one day and you feel like you're not afraid of stuttering anymore. Why? Because you're not ashamed. That's the first thing. But second, you know how to get to your confident speaking. You know how to feel that confidence in your speaking. And it all starts with the exercises that I gave you, where you feel how you get through the consonants to the vowel sound, how it can be relaxing, how it can connect the airflow and feel the stresses in the phrase, and how we can use our hand to give the foundation for that relaxing, powerful, and expressive speaking. So start with the exercises that I gave you, and let's keep moving forward step by step. Thank you so much for watching and paying attention. Please leave a comment and tell me what are the consonants that you struggle the most and how do you deal with them. What is the one thing that you liked from this video? What is the one thing that you're going to implement right away? For more videos, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. For more interaction, join, as I said, the Free From Stutter Facebook group. And I will see you in the next video.